In the Huddle was created to give student athletes, parents and coaches an inside look at the journey through US college sport and all that comes with it, the demands, the excitement and the opportunities. Study and Play USA facilitates a comprehensive, customised approach for student athletes and families for their whole journey, both here during high school, right through to US college graduation.
Hi, and welcome to this episode of In the Huddle with Study and Play USA. My name is Maria Hopes, and I'm one of the talent coordinators that works with Study and Play USA, helping students like our current guest. In this episode, we will highlight a young lady who has taken a path a little less traveled than other student athletes to achieve her dreams in the USA. All the way from Wayne State College near the cornfields of Nebraska, we would really warmly like to welcome our friend, Izzy Robinson.
Thank you.
Izzy, first, why don't you just tell us a little bit about where you're at school, kind of how you would describe Wayne State, and what sport you play.
So Wayne State, it's in the state of Nebraska, which best describes the middle of America. And then it's about 2 hours north from the main city, Lincoln/Omaha. And then I play rugby there, and I'm a hooker and prop.
Great. And how long have you been there?
I just finished my second year.
Awesome. That is so great. And what are you choosing to study?
I have chosen to study exercise science, but I'm still undecided on my minor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you went into school, did you know that that was what you were going to study, or did you use that first kind of year or two to make up your mind?
I used the first year to make up my mind. I just completed the general education courses that you have to do and then went from there.
Awesome. That sounds great. So I think that that is something that is a little bit different, isn't it? Where you don't have to know when you start, which I think is a nice little added bonus, just that extra time to hear of degrees you maybe hadn't considered, or, to explore things and decide if it's good for you or not. All right, so this is your chance now to brag to us all. Could you tell me, because your team's pretty awesome and you guys have had some really amazing achievements, definitely in the 2 years that you've been there. So are you able to tell us a little bit about that?
So with the 2 years I've been there, we have won 3 national championships. It possibly could have been 4, but due to the season being canceled early, we didn't get to do that one.
Yes.
And then in the recent 15 season, I was the MVP of the tournament out of all the teams that competed. And then I've also been selected on the under 24 Prairie State sides. And then last year, I was selected to go to the NSCRO All-American camp, but it was in June. And unfortunately, I wanted to come and stay at home instead of fly back over and attend.
Yeah.
But then most recently, I was nominated as one of 25 girls in the NSCRO competition as an All-American. And then just nominated captain for my side for the next season.
Oh, so we're so proud of you. And it's so fun for us back in Australia just to track. And it's just been, and even just getting emails from your coach that are like, check out this score. But you guys have just been so successful. And I think just that is it with your appointment of being one of the captains, is that something that's voted on by your teammates, or how is that decided at your school?
So we have an e-board which consists of 5 girls from the women's side and then 5 from the boys' side who meet, and then they do roles like president, vice president, help the club, and then there's also 2 captains for each team, which you can put yourself forward and then your teammates nominate who they think best is.
Amazing. Oh, well, I'm so proud of you, and just obviously says a lot about just the respect that your teammates have for you, obviously. So well done. I know that would be a lot of hard work. So
much hard work, and that's why we win, because we put in the hard work.
Yeah. So talk to us about that. What can you just kind of describe what it's like when you're in season as a student athlete?
So when we start the classes, in the first week, it's just an initial briefing for girls who haven't played before, as they're allowed to join the team. And then from about the 3rd week, we go to 4 days a week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, ARVOs for about 2 to 2.5 hours. And then about week 4 or week 5, we throw in 2 morning conditioning sessions. So we train 6 times a week and then play on the weekend.
Oh my gosh, amazing. And then you guys are also traveling, correct, with your, so busy. So how have you found that, especially your first year? Was it a pretty easy transition, or how did you find kind of balancing school and sport?
It was pretty easy. So with the team, Barner, who is my coach, he would schedule travel time either after everyone had finished their classes, or we'd leave at like 3:30, so girls would only miss 30 minutes of the class or something. But then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings, we have a 3-hour block where you have to go and complete at least 2 hours of study time so you can play and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So your coach is obviously putting a premium on appreciating that the academics have to happen.
Oh yeah, he says student first.
Yeah, that's amazing. Perfect. So I know we kind of mentioned, and you touched on it earlier when you said Nebraska is kind of just in the middle of America. And as somebody that's from Colorado myself, we love the Midwest, that is for sure. But I think sometimes some of our student athletes, when they're thinking about going over, Middle America doesn't have that like natural pull. You know, a lot of times kids will have heard about California schools, or they'll have heard about Florida schools, or even Texas. So can you talk to me a little bit about how you've just really embraced Wayne State as your home?
Well, originally when I flew into the airport, I said to Mum, this is different, because the airport was maybe like, it was so tiny. It had 5 gates at each end for planes, and the tarmac was pretty small, nothing like here in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And then, so my dorm roommate for that year, her family was nice enough to pick us up from the airport and let us stay a few nights at their house. And then they drove us up to the campus, and then they helped us move in. And when we got there, my coach, he met us there. And then he just showed me and Mum around and introduced us to the school. And then we also had the teachers from the school would come, and they introduced themselves and gave us a tour of the campus while it was empty before all the students returned.
Oh, nice. That sounds great. And so you didn't visit Wayne State before you committed?
No.
Okay, so that's a big leap, right? So, choosing a place that you're going to spend the next 4 years of your life. So could you talk to me a little bit about that process for you, and how did you end up there? What made that choice for you?
Well, I spoke to other coaches, but just how Barner sold the program, it made me want to go, that's the program I want to go to. Whereas there was a few other coaches, I was like, yeah, that sounds good, but I don't think I want to go there. And even though it's in the middle of nowhere, it's such a small town. It's so much fun there. You can get up, do so much fun stuff.
I love that. So maybe not what somebody would imagine, but once you're there and you really did the work, like you found a coach that you believe in, and I remember when he was recruiting you, like he
still emails me right now. Like when I returned, he goes, I need to hear from you. I hope you're not swimming in the ocean. Like, he's just a cracker.
Oh my gosh, the best. And so, you've really found a coach that has invested in you as a person and an athlete. And it makes us just feel so happy because we know that
he always checks in on his players.
Yeah. So good. So good. So even kind of before that, before you started Coach Contact, how does a private school girl in Brisbane end up choosing this pathway for herself?
So originally, I think I was just walking around All Hallows School, which I attended in grade 10, and we always got told by Miss Botham, our careers advisor, even though it's not for your grade, just go have a look at the career fair. It's never too early to start looking. Yeah. And I just saw the table and I was like, oh, I'll go up there, I'll have a look. But no one was there when I went. So there was just a piece of paper that I filled out. And then a few days later, I heard from, I'm pretty sure it was Alexa, who emailed me, and then just went from there.
Was it something you had thought about before? Like, oh, maybe I'll go to America and play sport?
No, I hadn't thought about it at all. It was just I'll go home and tell Mom and Dad I did this today.
And I still remember having that meeting with you. How did your parents feel about it? Because that's a big, oh my gosh, I feel like I'd fall out of my chair if my daughter came home and was like, I think I'm gonna go to America for school. Can
Yeah.
you talk to me about how your parents felt about it?
I don't think they're too excited at the start, but after like you guys reassuring them and talking them through the process, and then letting us make coach contact and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
I think they just went, she's pretty independent. We'll let her go off on her own and explore, and it's made me grow. So this experience, pretty good one.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I guess maybe some of the listeners might be wondering, especially because you played rugby, which is something where you could pursue that here. Why did you not want to pursue it in Australia? What made you say, you know what, I think America is where I want to pursue this?
Originally in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So when talking to you guys and you told us about the general ed program that you had to complete, it could give you another year and a half before you decided. I thought that would be better for me, as I had no clue what I wanted to do and didn't have any clue until this semester just completed. And then just the chance of rugby just popping up, it just made it all working together. I got to do everything I love just somewhere else.
Yeah, and all at once at the same place. Pretty awesome. All right, so we have been busy thinking about some things that listeners might want to know about living, studying, and playing rugby in the States. So here are just some quick fire questions for you. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
You kind of touched on this, but what was your experience arriving on campus for the first time? What were your first impressions?
I thought it was pretty cool, but driving up through cornfields, not being able to see anything, and then coming over a hill just to see a little town, I was a bit scared, but then straight away I just embraced it. I was like, this is where I'm going to be, between the cornfields and soybeans. I mean, that's what it is, so I had to embrace it, and I love it there.
It's so good. I love how open you just have kept your heart to it. The best. All right, tell us about your housing arrangement.
So my first year, I lived in the dorms, and I was in a triple. So I shared it with two other girls who are both American. And then my second year, I lived in the dorms again, and then I got to pick my roommate, which was one of my teammates. And then when I return, I will be living in a house with three girls for the next 2 years. Yeah.
That is exciting. All right, what has been the strangest food to get used to?
Probably country fried steak.
Oh, that fair enough.
First time they brought it out, I did not know what it was.
Could you describe it for our Australian listeners that are not familiar with country fried steak?
Well, it's not actually a steak like we'd expect a steak. It's more like mashed up mince, or what they call it, ground beef, made, and then it's rolled in like breadcrumb patty kind of thing, like a potato scallop, that kind of base thing, and then deep fried. Yeah.
Oh man,
not really healthy either.
No. Okay, what about your favorite food from the States?
It'd probably be the corn.
All the Nebraskans are just so happy to hear that.
There's fights between the Nebraskans and Iowa people whose corn's better.
Oh my gosh.
And because there's a lot of Iowa students who attend, because we're right on the border. That's all you hear.
That is so funny. Things you probably never thought were going to be a part of your life. Are there other Australians or internationals on your campus?
No.
Okay.
There are other internationals though.
Yeah, but no other Aussies.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids from Curacao, which is an island down in the Caribbean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you have just a few from other countries all around.
Okay. And what is it like to be an international on a college campus?
Get asked almost daily, do you have an accent, which gets pretty old, but it's because it's such a small school, everyone knows each other, so once the freshmen have all the questions out, it's just back to normal life.
Great. All right. What would you describe as your coach's best attributes?
His dedication to the team, for sure. He sometimes even sleeps in our clubhouse overnight just to make sure everything's ready for the tournament the next day and stuff. Like, he is dedicated. Like, he'll, instead of taking a lunch break, he'll go and mow the field. So it's good for us to play on or paint it.
Oh, that was beautiful. And then do you have any good road trip stories to share with us?
Ooh, we have a lot of road trips. The longest one we've had would be down to Atlanta, Georgia for nationals, but probably the funnest one was Sevens nationals to Pennsylvania last year. There was about 12 of us on the bus, and it was just a good time.
How long of a drive was that?
Well, actually, this is probably the best one because we're about 6 hours in on the drive, and the bus company we have is 45 minutes from the school campus, and our bus broke down. So they had to send out a new bus. So we're already 6 hours in, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. So we're stuck in the middle of, I think it's Illinois. We were just stuck at a survey station there.
Oh my gosh.
So we all went to sleep, and then about 3:30 in the morning, our coach is yelling at us to wake up, and we have to try and grab everything to jump on the new bus to continue going.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All part of the adventures.
Yeah.
That is amazing. It just sounds like it has been such a good 2 years, and I'm so happy that you have 2 more years of adventures ahead of you. Really, it's just honestly been our pleasure to work with you from the moment that we met you. And just would like to know, kind of moving forward, what are your academic goals for your next 2 years?
Well, I am hoping to graduate by May 2022 and then return home, hopefully find a job. But if I have to pick up a few subjects to become a physical therapist, I'll do, and then just go from there. Have a look at getting my master's here or something.
Yeah, that sounds great. And what about with rugby?
I can't wait to go back to training here. Like, we have training tomorrow night down at the club, but unfortunately can't play. And then when I finally return, hopefully trial for the Queensland team and then just get selected from there.
Amazing. So good. And then just our final question, Izzy. Do you have a message for other girls thinking about exploring this pathway, either through rugby or another sport?
I reckon just jump at all the options you have. You're only young, so the worst answer you can get to know, and you can only go from there and up. So it builds you as a person as well. So I reckon just take every opportunity and have a look at anything. There's no stopping you.
Oh, that's so nice. And Izzy, I feel like that has just been your journey, because I think actually when we met, you were thinking about track and field.
Yeah. Also,
is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you are the captain of your rugby team. You guys have just won a heap of national titles. You're living in Nebraska, just things that when we met, when you were maybe in year 10.
When I was 15.
Yeah, just weren't on your radar. And how amazing that you just showed up and said, yeah, let's just.
Yeah, I've gone from 30-degree heat here in Australia to -30 plus wind chill, so it's freezing over there.
Oh my gosh. Well, we are just so proud of you, and we can't wait to track your journey over the next couple of years. Izzy, thanks so much for your time today.
That's so good.